go, guys.
What up?
Please have some grace on me because I'm really tired. It's the first time I'm doing this. So I'm Darin, if you guys don't know, if you guys are new. I've been in InterVarsity for a long time. And we're going to go through passage of Matthew today, Matthew 5:21-26. So you guys have, let me just pray for us again, just before we speak. Jesus, I lift up everyone in this room. Thank you that you brought them here to this place, your sanctuary. I ask that you take away all nervousness from me right now, and just that I might proclaim your words, not mine. That your Spirit would just move in a powerful way, pierce through every heart here, and speak to everyone in a new way. Thank you, and I pray in Jesus' name. So Matthew 5:21-26. You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, "You shall not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with a brother or sister will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to a brother or sister, 'Raka,' is answerable to the court. And anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them, then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still together on the way, or your adversary may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may be thrown into the prison. Truly, I tell you, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny." So that's God's word. And before I dissect that, grudges are long-lasting, and it can turn into hate. And I have an example from a show, a beloved show called Friends. I'm going to show that right now.
So you were in an I Hate Rachel club?
Yes, he was.
No.
So who else was in this club?
Actually, there was also that exchange student from Thailand, but I don't think he knew what it was.
So Ross, we went out for 2 years and you never told me you were in an I Hate Rachel club.
You went out with her? We had a pact.
I was in high school. It's not like it was binding forever.
Then why did it have the word eternity in it?
Okay, Monica, did you know about this? I swear I didn't. Hey, is that why you guys used to go up to your bedroom and lock the door?
Yeah.
A little relieved, I gotta say.
Look, Rich, I'm sorry, okay? I was a stupid kid, okay? The only reason I joined...
Co-founded
the club was that I was insanely in love with you. Obviously, I didn't handle it very well. But if you think about it, the I Hate Rachel Club was really the I Love Rachel Club.
Except that it was really the I Hate Rachel Club.
Okay, so what, you guys would just like get together and like just say mean things about me?
Oh, we did a little more than that.
No.
What else did you do?
We started a rumor.
What rumor? Oh, come on, Will, just take off your shirt and tell us. Ross?
It was no big deal. We said that the rumor was that you had both male and female reproductive parts.
What?
That's right. We said your parents flipped a coin, decided to raise you as a girl, but you still had a hint of a penis.
Oh my God! You started that? What? You heard that? Everybody at school heard it.
Everybody at my school heard it. You were the hermaphrodite cheerleader from Long Island?
Oh!
so that one's not really our fault.
Monica, how come you never told me this? I thought it might be true. And I was afraid that you were going to cry and then show it to me. Joey, stop staring. There's nothing there. It's not true.
I'm afraid I'm going to need proof.
Oh.
A little inappropriate, but I have a point here, okay? So just like Will in this episode, played by Brad Pitt, my grandma has held grudges over many, many years. And it started with kind of her own, I guess, hate club in a way, against close family members. She didn't use the word hate, but her version is different. It's more of like a complaining club. I feel like I get that complaining whine from her like all the time when I go back home. But my grandma, she's full of life. She, living alone in her late 80s is not easy. She still drives, she cooks, cleans, even takes care of the bills and logistics of the house that my parents own in the San Gabriel Valley. And did I mention cook? Great cook, by the way. She makes the best food. She always asks if I have eaten or am hungry because that's her love language, food. I really admire her courage and independence and hospitality, but when it comes to her past, there are a lot of scars, a lot of brokenness left by people closest to her. Whenever I am back home in Alhambra, when I stay with her, she always brings up her past some way. The memories that she has of experiences she's been through attributes to the ability she has to remember things from the past. But several moments from her past are brought up more than others. Her divorce with my grandpa really caused pain in her life. As she put it, my grandpa never made an effort to provide a better life for my dad and his brother, my uncle. My grandma's bitterness and inability to let go of her brokenness and a broken past breaks my heart. But that's not all. My uncle also hurt me. My uncle also hurt her, in the past and in the present too. Sometimes I witness, when I'm around the two of them, how much of a lack of respect my uncle has for her. My uncle also has caused bitterness in my life too, and really currently. My parents live overseas. They live in China. I grew up in China. They're still actually not there, working and doing ministry. But my dad's pretty spoiled, and I think that's kind of where my spoiledness comes from. Just the entitlement to have anything I want, really. But my uncle brings it up a lot whenever they're back here. Sorry. But my grandpa has Alzheimer's, and my uncle takes care of him on a daily basis. And when my dad comes back, my uncle brings up the fact that you don't take care of him. You don't know what he likes. We don't know his medication and his schedule and all this stuff, and it just hurts me because he does it in front of me, and he's basically saying you're not taking responsibility for your dad. But that's not true because my parents have a life out in China, and yes, they come back as often as they can. But that caused a lot of bitterness in me. That caused a lot of hurt, and every time I see it, it angers me. So when we don't let go of past hurt, we begin anger. It's a chain reaction of negative events that harm not only yourself, but others around you. So why, from this passage? Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. It's my grandma, by the way. So why is Jesus so hardcore about our anger? Hard feelings have destroyed many friendships. However, it goes against human nature to humble ourselves and seek reconciliation. Hatred in the heart, whether it's theirs or ours, is just the act of murder and puts a person in danger of hell. If we don't choose the way of peace, then we run into danger of having the judge decide against us and having to suffer the consequences, like it said in the passage. So our first point here is anger is more dangerous than it seems. So in verse 22, it says anger is on the same level as murder. That's just huge. If you're angry towards someone, it's equivalent to murder. So watch out for the words you say, for it can result in judgment. So first, Jesus warns that the very act of murder finds its roots in an angry, murderous spirit. So it said, but I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. God, who examines the very thoughts and intents of the heart, will issue judgment upon unrighteous anger. Next, Jesus warns against name-calling. So using Raka as an example. In Matthew 5:22, is the only passage in the Bible where the term Raka is used. And Raka comes from the Aramaic term Raka, and that is a derogatory expression meaning empty-headed or worthlessness, kind of insinuating a person's stupidity or inferiority. It was an offensive name used to show utter contempt for another person. Jesus warned that the use of such a word to describe someone was synonymous to murder and deserving of the severest punishment of the law. Then he issues a third warning against those who call someone a fool. And the first century Jews recognized that anyone who murders will be subject to judgment, like it said. But Jesus warns that even calling another person insulting names such as Raka is sinful. Murder begins in the heart, and Rakas are signs that there is hatred lurking within the heart. The hatred that causes one person to hurl insults like you're stupid, you don't deserve, you're not, you're not capable of doing things like that, words like that, statements like that, is the same hatred that causes another person to murder. It's the same result. And the attitude of the heart is the same. And it's the attitude that makes a person morally guilty before God. So, there's another example I'm going to give you guys. I live with a guy, and we've been friends for maybe, say, about a couple of years. I relate really well to him because he also grew up overseas. And if you guys know what the term third culture kid is, I really see myself, I am a third culture kid first off, but I really relate to them, and they relate to me, and we get along and laugh about experiences and stuff, and I just find joy in meeting third culture kids. So this guy, he decides to move into the men's house, and immediately there's, I guess, first couple months, I think there's tension, and for those who don't know me, I hate conflict, and I try to avoid it as much as possible. I try my best to kind of put on a facade or try to avoid it completely, even though I know in my heart that I have to confront that, right? But that's kind of my passive aggressiveness. And living in a communal house is really hard sometimes. For those of you who have done that or lived in a house or currently live in a house like that, you have to share resources, you have to there's a lot of dirtiness, you know, especially with men, you know, it's just terrible. We even have mice, like, running around in our kitchen right now, and it's okay, not mice, one mouse. Still pretty bad. That's what Kenny said, but yeah. But it's just terrible. Like, it's like if you were to put the living situation of where I'm staying in the house I'm living right now here in North Ridge, and my grandma's house, it's like you go to my grandma's house, it's like spotless. Like, you don't see like dust anywhere. And then you go to our house, and it's like, you have like in and out, like laying underneath the sofa. You got like dirty dishes around, you know, I don't know, like in the restroom, you know, like, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, this is terrible. But I'm not complaining about that. Like, okay, maybe I am, but yeah. But this guy, I guess our personalities just clashed, and we just, I guess, we didn't agree on a lot of things, and he tends to make fun of me a lot, like, especially when, like, in the beginning, when